Hey, thank you for taking the time to click on today's video. I must be in the mood to educate because I feel like this is a big question that we need to be addressing as investors today. And the question is, why dividends? And more importantly, why dividend paying stock? Why do I want stock that is paying a dividend? After all, there's plenty of great companies out there that don't pay a dividend, Matthew. They've given me wonderful appreciation over the course of owning them. So why do I need dividend paying stock? Well, I think that it's a good, valid question, and I think that it's awfully applicable to such a broad array of investors. Of course, there's a lot of investors out there that think that they really don't need to rotate into dividend-paying stock until they get a little closer to retirement, and that could be true, but the reality is that dividends are going to be useful from three different perspectives. So the first perspective is that if we're in a position in the stage of life that we are in, that we need income, and we're owning things that are producing dividends, well, those dividends are dollars that I get to spend. Those are income dollars. I was thinking just the other day about an interview that I did on television, and they were asking, what kind of companies that you favor. And I suggested, well, I believe that one of the best companies to own are free cash flowing companies. But then I started to think about this, free cash flowing companies, they're going to have profits, they're going to be less burdened by debt and margin and cost. And guess what? They're going to be paying a dividend. And isn't that a free cash flow? Isn't that something that I get as a benefit, as a reward for being a shareholder in their company? I think that it is. So if you need income and you've got a portfolio of dividend producing holdings, well, guess what? You've got income to spend, and you can expect that those dividends are going to continue to get paid to you. The second thing is that when we are looking at stocks that pay a dividend versus stocks that don't pay a dividend, I would argue that stocks that pay a dividend are less risky, they're safer. So let's just take and let's do a bit of a drawing on the board. Let's just say that we have two companies here. We've got company, we're going to call this company A, and we're going to have company B over here and company B. These are both stock companies. They're relatively parity in price. They maybe have similar business models, so on and so forth. Is it not true that if A and B are in the stock market and they're actively traded, that they could lose, they could depreciate, they could retrace, they could go backwards in price? And the answer is yes. Let's just say that both of these companies went down and both of them lost, we'll just say 8% in value. Now that's very, very possible. But let me ask you then a question. What if this particular company over here decided to pay you a 4% dividend? Does that not mean that you are now in a position, because you just got paid a 4% dividend, that you've only really retraced just 4%? Now, let's think about this the other way. Another reason that we want to be able to invest in dividend-paying things is because dividends always help us to magnify or to get better, bigger gains. It helps to multiply the effect. So in the same way that A and B can go down, is it not true that A and B can actually appreciate by 8%? Is that not possible? Absolutely, it's possible. Both of these companies could be going up. The market is getting stronger. There's more optimism. The companies are being able to be successful in their business ventures, and they both appreciate by 8%. But the question becomes, what if this particular company over here decides to pay a 4% dividend, and from this area they go up? Now, if you get paid a 4% dividend on this particular scenario, is it not true that that just magnified your returns? Now, instead of only being appreciated by 8, you got 8% appreciation plus a 4% dividend that's paid to you on top of that. Do you see why dividends can help you, number one, have income to spend? Number two, it reduces your risk. It helps to smooth out the ebb and the flow of stock. And number three, it helps you to compound your return faster. But I would argue the one last point, and this is a bit of a bonus point. I hear people all the time. I've heard it for over 2.5 decades as a fiduciary. Well, Matthew, I'm a buy and hold investor. And you know what? That may be true. I know that you're not Warren Buffett. I know that you don't have so much money that when you go to buy stock in a company that you're buying a seat on the board of directors. So I know that. So you may be similar in technique to Warren. You may have some philosophical alignment with him, and he's a smart guy. He's a very smart, successful man. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to stock investing. But here's the epitome of a cognitive dissonance that takes place in our mind. We fool ourselves into thinking that we are buy and hold investors, and yet we've got stock. We've got those stocks in that IRA, that 401k, that 403b. We're now 72 and we have to take required minimum distributions. And what do we have to do to make that happen? We have to end up selling shares. Well, let me ask you, how can you be the real, true buy and hold investor if you're selling your own shares to satisfy the government's RMD? This is the fourth and final reason why we want dividends. Because if we have a portfolio of dividend producing instruments and we have the need for income, we've got income. If we have the need to take a required minimum distribution, we have the dividends to be able to do that. And what does that allow us to do? It allows us to continue to hold those companies and let those companies appreciate over the course of time, giving us a bigger net worth, giving us a larger legacy to pass on to a spouse or our family. I hope you found this video to be helpful and thought compelling. If you've liked this little video, I encourage you to give us a thumbs up. If you want to do something for your friends, share this video with them. Encourage them in dividend investing. And if you want to be reminded when we have videos, click that little subscribe button, hit that bell, and we will remind you each and every time we have a video. Remember, I'm Matthew Johnson, and it's up to you to make today a great day. Thanks for watching.